Hello there, this is Chaos, formerly known as Kaos Nova, and I have some wonderful news for you. We have Codeweavers Crossover version 26. And what better thing than to have a way that you can play many games, aka Steam. So Steam setup is now more simple than it was the previous version, and there's a few little tech tips I'm going to include in this tutorial episode. So hang on, get ready, it's going to be great. This new version of Codeweavers Crossover has even better functionality with Steam than the previous version with 25, and there's more games that you can play pretty well. Assassin's Creed games perform better in this new version of Codeweavers Crossover. I just want to let you know that part. Previously it was an issue with Ubisoft client, but now it works just great. So without further ado, I'm going to have this guide. We're going to go over how to install Steam and the supplemental installations for the Ubisoft games and the supplemental installations for the Bethesda games, just Fallout and Elder Scrolls, and we're also going to go over the setup for Final Fantasy games and those dependencies, and it should be a fun time. And there's an additional setup for helping with mouse cursor issues where your system mouse cursor shows up over your game screen when it's full screen. So all this involved, it should be a wonderful episode of Kaos Tutorial. So without much further ado, let's get started. All right, here we go. So we're starting out, we selected Steam. You have this setup here. It's preset, Windows 10, 64-bit. Choose all the right things, and now it's starting. So earlier, Steam, when you installed it, you have to install the fonts, core fonts, but here it does it automatically as part of Crossover 26. So don't worry, this process is a little slow here. So install fonts, yes. Install fonts. All right, here we go. Now, after we get the fonts installed, we're going to install DirectX. That should be automatic. We need to install modern DirectX after this, but just go along with this. We're getting C++ installed, Visual C++. Then there should be a few more parts to this installation. And here we go, it should be going. Installing fonts. A few more. Microsoft. 64-bit for Microsoft C++. Then we're going to go install the DirectX. Almost there, almost done. Alright, Steam setup. So you're gonna have to go do your email after you get this set up, and you'll have to enter the passcode, which will get emailed to you at your email address for Steam. So you're essentially setting up a new computer, new machine, so go take care of it. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you some other parts for Steam for the other specialized games. So let's get cracking on that one. Alright, here. So we're going to look DirectX for modern games. Check that off. Go ahead and choose Steam. There we go. So DirectX, modern games for Windows 10. Alright, here we go. It's going. This is pretty simple with the new one. almost done. Very close. This is really quick. Only about a minute and a half. It can take as many as 5 minutes, depending on your type of computer. If you have an older machine, it takes longer. Here we go. Let's get all the libraries in. So the next one we're going to do is go to look at Ubisoft Connect. So that's for the Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed or Splinter Cell. Okay, so installation is complete. So next one we're going to go is go take a look at the Ubisoft Connect. And that will show us how to get the Ubisoft games set up, because Ubisoft games on Steam are another ballpark. Here we go. So we have Ubisoft Connect. So you just select Ubisoft Connect. It's available to install. Install it into the Steam bottle. So go into Steam. Install. There we go. It's pretty quick, but now you have what's set up. So if you want to install an Ubisoft game in Steam, you have the Ubisoft Connect set up. It's set up quite well. It runs well, and that's a good thing of Codeweavers Crossover version 26. Is that this app didn't run well in previous versions, but it runs well now. So accept, install. It will install right into Steam, and it'll be done really quick. There we go. There we go. We're done with Ubisoft Connect. Your Ubisoft games are ready. Alright, here we go. Bethesda Audio Override. So this is how we set up for the Bethesda games. Bethesda games include the Fallout games, starting with Fallout 3. It also includes the Elder Scrolls games. So this is what helps you with Steam. So you want to run a Fallout game, Elder Scrolls game, or a Doom game. It's for all of them. So it helps you run all these games. So we're going to get started, and let's get to cracking at it. Alright, so here we are with the Bethesda. So we go to the wine configuration. Now we're going to go to the libraries. That's where we're going to use the Bethesda Audio Override files. So go to X Audio, these files. Copy and paste them exactly. I'll have these files to copy and paste in the description of this video to make it easier for you, okay? You copy and paste them in, and most of the issues with graphics and sound, they are taken care of for these Bethesda games for Fallout or Elder Scrolls when you do this. So have no fear. Next, we're going to go to the next set of games that you can get on Steam. They are Final Fantasy games. So here we are, Final Fantasy games. It works for 6, 7, 8. It doesn't work for Final Fantasy 4 Remake. It does work for 9. So here we are. Same thing. Go to Libraries, Final Fantasy files. So I'll have these as copy and paste as well. DM Band, DMime, DM Loader, DM Style, DM Synth, DMusic, EAX, DLL. These are all these files that have issues with being installed with Steam, but you get these going and they will work. You just need to put them in yourself. So load them in, and it should be great for Final Fantasy games. Next one we're going to be talking about is mouse cursor issues, and that should be something that helps with a lot of games where your mouse pointer or the black cursor shows up in front of your game when you're playing. So let's take a look at that. Alright, for mouse pointer fix, you have the system cursor, or the base operating system pointer, as they call it, for macOS showing up. See, you have it on your screen and it interferes with you a lot. So it moves around on your screen, blocking details and being distractions. So what can we do to fix that? Well, here's something we can do. The first way involves going through the system options for the Steam bottle. The other one involves downloading some apps, which I'll have links to all of the needed apps in the description. Alright, here we go. This is how we do it through the settings. So we go to the Steam bottle, and here we have it right here. You go to Wine Configuration. Go to Wine Configuration. Now we're going to go to Graphics. So Wine Configuration is loading. There we go. Graphics. And make sure you do the top one where you show the game cursor over a full screen display. So now we have it, so it will keep our actual pointer for the macOS system pointer hidden for the most part. It occurs a lot less frequently. It isn't perfect, but it should handle most games. Now we're going to talk about the apps which allow you to make your pointer or system cursor for your mouse disappear in game. First one is cursorcerer. The other one is stealth pointer. Different developers, but both are fine. Both involve the same principle, where you choose a keyboard command, like you choose, like say, shift right bracket or shift left bracket, and that will make your mouse disappear. Rather, your pointer for your mouse disappear, so if it shows up in game, you can use that keystroke. Just make sure it doesn't conflict with your keyboard commands you use for playing the game. Make sure it doesn't do that. It could also have issues because you'll also be simultaneously issuing commands into the game when you do that. But otherwise, they operate on this idea of keystrokes. You can download both of them, and I have the links in the description for both of these applications for hiding your mouse cursor, or your pointer as it's known for Mac OS. Now, to finish this off, we're going to actually do a little demonstration here, starting with Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition on Steam. So the Definitive Edition is better than the original Age of Empires 2 in terms of it has higher graphics quality, it lets you zoom in and zoom out. It's still top-down isometric. However, the effects, the various other parts are much more detailed than the original Age of Empires 2. This came out around 2020 as a new edition by Microsoft. So we're going to play it. For the most part, it functions better than the original Age of Empires did. And not only is it better, but it's better than previous versions of Codeweavers Crossover, such as Codeweavers Crossover 26. Because in this version of Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, you don't lose this cursor. Sometimes, as you can see right here, the pointer shows up in the place of the game cursor, but it is not as distracting because it's exactly where the cursor is supposed to be. You don't have two cursors like you saw in that demonstration for Shadow Warrior, where you have the cursor on the screen and the main game cursor was two separate cursors. But rather here, the game loads up pretty nice, and I'm playing in Spanish in a skirmish map. You can also play the campaign just fine as well. The Definitive Edition has additional campaigns that the original Age of Empires 2 did not, and additional civilizations which you can play as. So in the Definitive Edition, you has a whole campaign for Vlad the Impaler and for the Ottoman Empire and more. And there are also new campaigns that come in for the Definitive Edition. As you can see, I'm zooming in and out with the mouse, just doing my scouting. But a lot of games in Crossover 26 are just running better than previous versions. And as a demonstration, this is not Apple Silicon, although Apple Silicon Macs run even more smoothly. This is an Intel-based Mac from 2021, around the end of Intel-based Macs, before they started Apple Silicon. And this is running well even on an Apple Silicon Mac. It's fantastic. For demonstration purposes, I'm showing you this playing on an Apple Silicon Mac from Intel-based Mac from the last days of Intel-based Macs. So it's great, and I'm impressed. I'm going to be testing, and you can join the community and test as a beta tester. You can go and submit your reviews and ratings. Do it professionally, please, for Codeweavers Crossover if you're a user, and how well it works. So this is great. So far, I'm impressed at the results of how Codeweavers Crossover 26 is handling Steam. And this is one of those games where it's just very much improved from how it was in version 25. No screen freezes where you have to like close your screen and turn your screen on again, because the screen freezes and the display is frozen, but the game is still running in the background. That was an annoying part, but this game is not having screen freezes. I even completed this entire skirmish map with very little issue. It was fantastic. Crossover 26 is an improvement so far, and I'm going to keep going through other Codeweavers Crossover games and testing them with Steam or with GOG or with the disc, although discs are pretty much obsolete. But if the disc version works well, I'll mention it in my upcoming Kaos Tutorials episodes. So in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful time, and all I gotta say is stay safe out there, because I will be signing off.